Alright, we are back. It is Terran Star Battle League, Season 2, Week 4. Matchup is 2-1Z versus Eclipsis. And this is Game 2. After a very exciting Game 1, we had Riker in here on the co-cast, but he had to leave because 7th Fleet is actually starting a match against Unwanted very shortly here. So a lot of TSL action going on today. This is one of our premier matchups, Eclipsis and 2-1Z. We saw that first game. Eclipsis appeared to be in control of the match that entire game. Farm advantage early and the whole game. Actually lost the ship first and maintained the farm advantage, extended it. But double support on the 2-1Z side turned out to just be too powerful once they got their ultimate abilities, and they were able to put a snipe on one of Eclipsis overlords and ended up taking that game after playing from what seemed to be being behind that entire game. So turned out to really be a good game. Both teams looked good. Now we are checking out. Oops, I did it wrong there. Okay. 2-1-0 coming out of the red side. Looks like the battle cruiser Colossus. Coming out Raven, Arbiter again, and then Void Ray. And now they're going with the Guardian on the other side as opposed to the second Void Ray like they did last time. And that you do not see very much nowadays. Double Overlords once again for Eclipsis. Battlecruiser, Dreadnought, Raven, and there is Silver rocking the Void Ray on top for Eclipsis. Last time, Silver went with this beam opening instead of the Nova that you see from time to time. Looks like he did that again. Nightstar was the Void Ray was one of the Void Rays for 2-1Z last time, and he opened Nova just like he did this time. So let's see if we get that early game disadvantage like we saw last time. 2-1Z got pushed really early, and it seemed like they stayed pushed the whole time. A little bit of different matchups on the outside here. We've got Overlord versus Guardian here, so Luigi opened up that Plague on the outside, and that actually does additional damage to the Guardian team spec, so might have a hard time actually dealing with that in addition to trying to farm. We see Eddie opened with that Swarm command in the middle, as we do tend to see these double Overlord builds. One guy will go with that Swarm command, other guy will go with that Plague. Killer U came out with the EMP. Beggy came out, what's he doing? Yeah, with the 4 Gats. War Alistair out with 5 missile open. I'm guessing same thing. Yep, same thing for Darce on the 2-1Z side. Tough out with 4 missiles. I'm assuming the open for team spec. Yeah, he went ahead with a little bit of a range open there, and then Kerberos with the shield transfer. Ruma's out in the Raven, and he's EMP as well. So we do see Eclipsis kind of pushing onto the 2-1Z side of the map like we did last time. It's not as extreme as it was last time that we saw it. So a little bit slower, but 2-1Z is... Oh, sorry. 2-1Z is going to lose that map advantage early in the game again. We see them kind of shift upwards here. Getting some DPS on Silver and that Void Ray up here. Right now, the farm advantage on this side for Luigi. Pretty huge farm advantage. You see Luigi up over 120 on that farm. And team spec across from him is hitting 60, so Luigi doubling his farm. And then the other side lane is Silver for Eclipsis up here. He's second highest farm, sitting up at about 110 on the score. And then Nightstar is the third, sitting at what? Okay, approaching 100 at this point. So you see over 100 farm advantage for Eclipsis already. We are seeing this trend kind of like the previous game did. You saw the double Overlord for Eclipsis, using the Swarm command as it, is there to be used, and that double support opening for that double support composition for 2-1Z, causing them to get pushed. But then it really paid dues for them in the end, despite the fact they were over 1,000 farm down, um, able to pull that one out. So let's see. Let's see what they do on the outside here on the 2-1Z side. They might not want Team Spec hanging out across from Luigi for too much longer. Looks like Eclipsis is going to go ahead and milk this opportunity as much as possible. 250 on the farm advantage right now. That's pretty substantial this early in the game. I imagine one thing that we saw from Eclipsis in the game previous is that they had this farm advantage, they had this control of the map, but then you kind of saw them just kind of biding their time, like there was no sense of urgency in them actually getting the game closed out or taking advantage of the fact that they had so much farm than the other team. And I think that came back to bite them, because those support ships on the side of 2-1Z just, I mean, they got their ultimate abilities, and then it was hard to deal with. That's what caused Eclipsis to lose that game. So they might take a little bit of a different approach, a little bit more aggression, or an attempt to actually capitalize on the advantage that they have. But we will see. I'm sure that both teams have a very clear idea of how they want this game to go. So we'll just have to see whose idea actually comes to fruition. We did see Silver get pushed quite a bit, and that Void Ray chased all the way back. That's why you see him down at low health, hanging out at the mother base for some healing. 2-1Z actually gets a chance to try to catch up a little bit. Only 100 farm down right now, so better than where they were. Now you're going to see them go ahead and back out as Eclipsis comes out of the base. So what's 2-1Z going to do? Are they going to go all the way back in, or are they going to try to hold the middle? Looks like they're going to... So they actually head back past the middle onto their side of the map. There you see the warp in, probably up top. Yep, there's Silver resuming his position on top of the map. Now they've, on the Eclipsis side, decided to move. Or no? Okay, so yes, they've decided to move War Alistair to the outside in that battle cruiser, up to level 6 on those longbolt missiles, 4 lasers, and yeah, we're back on 2-1Z's side of the map. So let's see what the play is for 2-1Z. Looks like Night Star comes out. Let's check out the upgrades there. Nothing on the Prizzy yet. Grabbed his blink. And yeah, he's just going to use that Nova. Have a pretty standard battle on the outside for, as far as Void Rays go. Oh, we see Broodlords. We see Broodlords coming out of Team Spec already. So 250 on the energy. Already busting out those Broodlords. Level 8 on the Broodling Strike right now. So early Broodlords for 2-1Z. So I guess they're gonna partake in the minion battle, as opposed to using Swarm Command for that. Go ahead and start using Broodlords instead. So I am very interested to see what kind of advantage or how that situation develops, and how powerful that they can get those Broodlords, because the Broodlords will do a good job of assisting them and getting some damage out there, but if they keep getting pushed and they stay on this side of the map the whole time, it's going to be hard to scale that damage up for those Broodlords to keep up with all the upgrades that are happening on the Eclipsis side of things. So we'll see what they do. Upgrades on Baggy looks like went with some armor plating, as you could probably expect. And yep, See double swarm command out of Eclipsis now. Just really, really significant, the difference in the usage of swarm command once we switched to SB 3.0. You used to have people literally like little brainiac dudes would argue against you when you know, trying to even suggest to using swarm command, and now it's like the thing to do. Like, you just don't see games happening without swarm command. Alright, so we've got the Sky Furies coming out. 421Z. Gonna push Eclipsis on back, but you do see the Tempests. See, yeah, oh, there's that. Okay, so there's that cloak. We did see Kerberos rocking the Arbiter in the previous game. He's rocking it now. He went with cloak very early, and really had nothing else for a long time. You see him get kind of beat up by heavy creep. This time he did get Storm, but he's back to using cloak as well pretty early here. Eclipse is going to have to back out of there. You see pretty good damage was done to Beggy at this point, but look at this farm. 360 is the difference right now. Advantage to Eclipsis as far as that farm goes. High farmer of the game was Luigi, slightly surpassed by Silver at this point in that Void Ray, and then trailing them just slightly is Nightstar in the Void Ray 421Z. There you see the broods from the Swarm Command out. Darth's doing a little bit of work to try to fight against those. I think that's, yeah, Luigi's inside, hit the plague on tough. He was in the classes up to 7 on the Protoss shields, and then up to 8 on those antimatter missiles. So decent DPS inside there on the Colossus. Eddie's only got level 5 on the Mutas so far. Definitely see him trying to get that plussed up a little bit. War Alistair on the outside, 8 on the longbolt missiles, going with... Damn, I'm yawning. Going with one-shot style on the laser batteries. And here we see Eclipsis at towers. A lot of damage gets done to a couple dudes on the 2-1Z side. See Tough getting worn down by those plagues, and then Team Spec, yeah, took a lot of damage from that BC out there. So battle cruisers play on the outside and they do damage to people, and that's how they get down. There you see the scan by War Alistair. Eclipses really make sure that they get that scan early and they see what you're doing. Don't like to play a big guessing game with how the other team is going to come out of the base. So you see them using that scan early, using that scan often. Really helps to, you know, figure out what kind of jump your opponent is trying to get onto you. Now you kind of see Eclipsis backs up a little bit. Not a lot of DPS being done right now, just kind of farming, and they're just slow backing it out of there. Here's the, okay, so the idea with Kerberos is to use that cloak to defend against plagues, and now 2-1Z is going to push, or are they? See what happens. Looks like they're content to hang out right here. Alright, so there you go. You see the adrenal overload on Team Spec and the Guardian now, up to level 9 on that Broodling Strike. And here comes the Swarm Command, and Eclipsis is ready to push, push with it. So once again, keeping control of the map, and I mean it's significant. You keep control of the map, and you farm, and you can play the game that you want to play, and hopefully whatever strategy it is that you have is the winning one. But at the very least, you're getting the kind of money that you need to do what you want to do. They're starting to see like an interesting imbalance of the map right here. They're kind of playing side by side as opposed to in front of each other. Here's the siege creep coming out for Eclipsis, so pretty fortunate break they get with that siege creep coming out to help them. And I guess 2-1Z just really wanted to get that side pushed back, but I think as a result of that, we see these kind of shenanigans. Silver in the solo farming, and Void Ray's doing this. You don't really see it as much. People don't consider it really that great of a necessity to take the risk of solo farming in 3.0, but everybody knows what the merits of solo farming are, and it looks like the Eclipsis guys, everybody other than the Void Ray, doing a good job of keeping 2-1Z occupied. So they're really not doing anything about the fact that Silver is solo farming like that. No one's heading back. Nobody's trying to stop it. Silver is up over 600 score right now, and he's just farming even more. Level 8 on the prismatic beam. Damn. I think 2-1Z, yeah, so 2-1Z, I would imagine, sees it. Kerberos is hurt. He's coming back to heal. I imagine Silver could have probably just came down and even killed him if he wanted to. You see Silver warps back to where the battle is happening, and he's in there getting some damage done. Does a decent amount of DPS, but not really enough. I'm guessing we're going to see Tough roll out as those shields go down on the Colossus. So 2-1Z eventually takes too much of a beating. They're heading back to base, but not after giving up a lot of solo farming time to Silver. If you look at the farm score right now, about a 700 farm advantage for Eclipsis at this point. 21 minutes into the game, 22 minutes into the game. That's a pretty high amount to be ahead of the other team, especially considering that it's still a 6 versus 6 game right now. So, alright, decent damage is done to Eddie. Moving back out, you see the scan right now. So Nightstar with those flux veins going, zoom, 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 zoom. Way too powerful flux veins. There's the warp in. Eclipsis did do the scan, so they saw it. I don't think that we see anybody get killed right now, but it at least is good for pushing the aggression for the 2-1Z guys. Looks like they're gonna focus on Beggy a little bit. There's Silver. He is using that level 16 prismatic beam. He could actually end up killing somebody right now. And yeah, he is actually going to kill Kerberos, so wipes him out, and we see the immediate effects of letting that Void solo farm like that. At this point in the game, just got way too powerful. At this point, you see Darce running away, you see Tough running away, but there was nothing that they could do. That's just entirely too powerful a prismatic beam for somebody to have at this stage in the game. That's just ridiculous. 650 score. That's 150 score better than Nightstar right now. So, yeah, that will happen. We're going to have to see if 2-1Z is able to get the Broodlords and the Void Ray strong enough to make a comeback, but it's definitely much different than the previous game, because you're looking at not having that double support comp that they did anymore. Now that Kerberos is gone, they don't have that cloaking field anymore. They don't have that capability to get stasis. They don't have that observer, which is that hurts. You got the EMP for when very shortly here we're going to see cloaking out of Silver. We don't see it yet, but we're going to see him cloaking. But yeah, you just don't have the ability to fight against. You don't have the ability to fight against that cloak. So we'll see what 2-1Z does. But at this point, there's a sniping machine on the Eclipsis side of the map right now, and I imagine he's gonna take victims very quickly. Thanks to that, that wealth of farm that he was able to accumulate when 2-1Z didn't challenge the solo farm. There we see Tough is moving wide to the outside, and There's the scan, so Eclipsis sees it, and looks like no, so they're not going to necessarily run away. Stay and farm up a little bit. All right, and now they're gonna back out of there. We see the warp in happening from 2-1-Z right now. And yeah, bad loss to take by 2-1-Z. They probably needed to recognize the fact that that Overlord was there. I mean, not Overlord, that Void Ray was there, and it was so powerful. And there you see, Darsko down by War Alistair. Just too much damage being done right now. That prismatic beam is deadly. And you see they're gonna. Yep. Tough goes down. And I imagine we see Team Spec go down here. So much shorter game. Yeah, it plays out a lot differently this time than the previous game. So I hope you all were able to see that first game, because we saw similar strategies, at least what it looked like, but the thing played out way differently. So very interesting, and as you can probably expect, this is a good series. You see 2-1-Z take the first game, you see Eclipsis take the second game, and now they've got a third game in this match week to play, and could be another very exciting one. So hopefully we can get it fired up pretty quickly, and if so, then I'll be back to present that to you.